The bar door slammed open like a gunshot in the sticky Nashville heat, and Scott barreled out, his fists clenched around the collar of the skinny guy he'd just dragged from the counter. "You think you can fuck my brother like that, fairy?" Scott snarled, shoving the man against the brick wall of the dive bar, the neon open sign flickering red across his rage-twisted face. Justin froze in the shadows of the alley, heart pounding, because he knew that look in the stranger's eyes had been for him, not some imagined slight, and now his own brother was about to beat the truth out of someone else's bones. It was supposed to be a simple night out, the kind of humid Tennessee Friday where the air clung to your skin like regret. Justin had turned 22 that week, and Scott, ever the protective big brother, had insisted on dragging him to the Rusty Nail, a hole-in-the-wall joint on the edge of downtown where country covers blared from jukeboxes and pickup trucks outnumbered sensible sedans. Scott was 25, built like a linebacker from their high school football days, with the same sun-bleached hair as Justin but none of the quiet introspection that made Justin the family oddball. Scott was the golden boy, mechanic by day, charmer by night, the guy who could fix your carburetor and your heartbreak with the same easy grin. But tonight, that grin was nowhere. Justin had been nursing a Bud Light at the bar, trying to blend into the wood paneling, when the stranger, lean, tattooed, with a fade haircut and a confidence that screamed big city, had leaned in too close, his whisper cutting through the twang of a George Strait song. "You look like you could use some real company. Handsome." Justin's pulse had spiked, a forbidden thrill mixing with terror. He wasn't out, not to Scott, not to their parents back in the split-level ranch house on Elm Street, not to anyone in this Bible Belt town where faggot was still casual currency. Before Justin could stammer a response, Scott was there, materializing like a storm cloud. "What the hell did you just say to him?" Scott's voice had been low, venomous, the kind that made the bartender pause mid-pour. The stranger had laughed it off at first. "Easy, cowboy. Just shooting my shot." But Scott didn't laugh. He grabbed the guy's arm, twisting it just enough to elicit a yelp, and hauled him toward the door. The bar had gone quiet, eyes darting like minnows in a pond, waiting for the splash. Now, in the alley, the stranger's back hit the wall with a thud that echoed off the dumpsters. "Scott! Stop!" Justin lunged forward, his voice cracking like cheap glass. He grabbed his brother's shoulder, feeling the corded muscle tense under his fingers. Scott whirled, eyes wild, breath hot with whiskey. "Stay out of this. Just... This prick thinks he can. He's not hurting anyone." Justin's words tumbled out, desperate, his cheeks burning. The stranger met his gaze over Scott's shoulder, a flicker of sympathy there that twisted the knife deeper. Justin had spent years burying this part of himself. Prayers in the church pews, late-night scrolls through anonymous forums on his phone, stolen glances at the locker room showers that left him sick with shame. And now, because of one stupid, hopeful moment, it was all unraveling. Scott released the man with a shove, watching him stumble back, rubbing his wrist. "Get the fuck out of here before I change my mind," he growled. The stranger straightened his shirt, shot Justin one last look, half apology, half invitation, and melted into the night, taillights fading down the alley. Silence stretched like taffy, broken only by the distant hum of I-40. Scott turned to Justin, his face a mask cracking at the edges. "What was that shit, man? You let him talk to you like that?" There was accusation in his tone, but beneath it, something raw or hurt, maybe, or fear. Justin's stomach churned. He wanted to scream. It was for me, you idiot. He saw me. He wanted me. But the words lodged in his throat like barbed wire. Instead, he muttered, "Nothing. Just drop it." He pushed past Scott, heading for their shared truck, the one with the Confederate flag sticker peeling at the edges, a relic from their dad's old rides. Scott followed, slamming the door harder than necessary as he climbed in. The drive home was a minefield of unspoken grenades. Radio static filling the cab, Scott's knuckles white on the wheel, Justin staring out at the blur of fast food signs and strip malls. By the time they pulled into the driveway of the house, their parents' place, where Scott still crashed between apartments and Justin was home from community college for the summer, the tension had thickened into something suffocating. The porch light buzzed like a trapped fly, casting long shadows over the azaleas Mom had planted last spring. Dad was probably inside, feet up, watching ESPN reruns of SEC football, oblivious as ever. Justin bolted for the door, but Scott's hand clamped on his arm. "Hey, talk to me." His voice was softer now. The alley rage ebbed away, leaving exhaustion in its wake. Close, in the yellow glow, Scott looked younger, vulnerable, the same kid who'd shared a bunk bed with him growing up, whispering secrets about girls under the covers until the secrets stopped coming. "What's there to say?" Justin yanked free, his voice sharper than intended. "You embarrassed me." Again, Scott recoiled like he'd been slapped. "I was protecting you, dumbass." "That guy was a creep." Justin laughed, bitter and brittle. "Yeah, protecting me from what? From having a conversation." He stormed inside, the screen door banging shut behind him. In the kitchen, the fridge hummed a lonely tune. He grabbed a Coke, chugging it like it could wash away the taste of almost truth. Upstairs, their old room, now a limbo of twin beds and faded posters, felt like a time capsule. Scott followed a minute later, leaning in the doorway, arms crossed. "Just, come on. We're brothers. You know I'd do anything for you." Justin's back was to him, staring at the window where fireflies blinked like hesitant stars. "Do you ever think about why you hate them so much?" The words slipped out before he could cage them. "Them." The gaze. The word hung heavy, unspoken slurs echoing. Scott's high school taunts, his barroom jabs, the way he'd laugh at the news clips about those Hollywood pervs. Scott shifted, uncomfortable. "I don't hate them. I just don't get it. It's not natural, man." "Bible says." "Fuck the Bible," Justin snapped, whirling to face him. Tears pricked his eyes, hot and unwelcome. "You don't know shit about natural." The room went still. Scott's jaw worked, like he was chewing on glass. Finally, he nodded, slow. "All right. Night, bro." He backed out, closing the door with a click that felt final. Justin collapsed onto his bed, the springs creaking under him like old bones. He pulled out his phone, thumb hovering over the stranger's number, the one he'd snagged in a panic before Scott intervened. "Hey, sorry about my psycho brother. Coffee sometime?" But he deleted it. Twice. 3 times. Instead, he scrolled through old photos, him and Scott at 12, arms slung around each other after a little league win. At 18, Scott's graduation, Justin beaming in the front row. Brothers. Blood. The kind of love that shouldn't twist into something else. But it had, hadn't it? In the quiet hours, when the house slept and shame loosened its grip, Justin admitted it to the dark. The way his gaze lingered on Scott's broad shoulders in the shower, the electric brush of skin during wrestling matches, the ache when Scott brought home girls with laughter like wind chimes. It wasn't right. It was wrong. Filthy. The devil's whisper. Yet it burned, steady as a heartbeat. Down the hall, Scott lay awake too, staring at the ceiling fan's lazy spin. His mind replayed the alley, the stranger's hand on Justin's knee under the bar, casual but claiming. Rage had surged, not at the guy, at the thought of someone else touching what was his. No. Bullshit. He punched the pillow, willing the thought away. Justin was family. End of story. Morning came with the smell of bacon frying. Mom's Sunday ritual. Dad grunted over the sports section, oblivious. Scott shoveled eggs like they were penance, avoiding Justin's eyes across the formica table. Pass the salt, Justin said, voice neutral. Scott did, their fingers brushing accidental, electric. Neither pulled away fast enough. After church, Baptist, stiff collars and sermons on sin, the brothers escaped to the garage, Scott's domain of oil stains and half-fixed Harleys. "Want to help with the carb on the old Chevy?" Scott asked, wiping his hands on a rag. Justin nodded, grateful for the distraction. They worked in rhythm, the clank of tools a language safer than words. But words came anyway, as the sun dipped low. "About last night," Scott started. Torque wrench paused mid-turn. "I overreacted." "Sorry," Justin shrugged. "Focus on the spark plugs." "It's fine." "You always do," Scott chuckled. "But it died quick." "Nah. Seriously. I can't stand seeing you hurt." "World's full of assholes who'd take advantage." Justin's hands stilled. "And what if I want them to?" The wrench slipped, clattering to the concrete. Scott's eyes locked on his, searching. "What?" "Nothing." Justin bent to retrieve it, heart hammering. But Scott's hand covered his, warm and calloused. "Just look at me." He did. "Mistake." Scott's face was inches away, concern etched deep, lips parted like a question. The garage smelled of grease and possibility. Justin's breath caught, the air thickening. Then Dad's voice boomed from the house. "Boys, dinner." The moment shattered. They pulled apart, awkward laughs masking the fracture. But as they washed up, Justin caught Scott watching him in the sink's reflection. Not brotherly, not anymore. That night, thunder rolled in from the west, lightning cracking the sky like God's own temper. Justin woke to rain lashing the window, sheets tangled around him. A knock soft, hesitant. "Jess? You up?" Scott stood in the doorway, hair damp, wearing nothing but boxers. "Bad storm." "Mind if I?" Justin scooted over, pulse racing. The bed dipped as Scott slid in, back to back, the way they had as kids. But they weren't kids. Heat radiated between them, a live wire humming. "Scoot," Scott mumbled, half asleep. Justin did, their spines touching. Neither moved away. In the dark, with thunder masking his whisper, Justin said, "I think I'm one of them." Silence. Then Scott's voice, rough. "One of who?" "You know, gay." The word hung. Scott rolled over, facing him now, shadows playing across his face. Doesn't change shit. You're still my brother. Justin's throat tightened. Yeah. That's the problem. Scott's hand found his in the dark, squeezing once. We'll figure it out. They didn't sleep much after that. Dawn broke gray, the rain a steady drum. Breakfast was quiet, but charged. Mom noticed, fussing. You boys look like you saw a ghost. Dad just grunted. Plate clean. Later, alone in the yard, Scott lit a smoke, offering one to Justin. So, that guy from the bar. Justin exhaled, smoke curling like secrets. His name's Tyler. We texted. Might meet up. Scott's jaw ticked. Be careful. Jealousy or care? Justin couldn't tell. Why do you care so much? Because Scott stubbed out the cig. Words dying. Forget it. But Justin couldn't. That afternoon, he drove to meet Tyler at a coffee shop off Vanderbilt's campus, neutral ground. Hipster haven with rainbow flags in the window. Tyler was waiting. Smile easy. No alleys or brothers in sight. They talked for hours. Books, dreams, the ache of hiding. Tyler's hand brushed his under the table, and for the first time, Justin didn't flinch. Scott's truck was in the driveway when he got home, engine still ticking cool. Inside, Scott was pacing the living room, phone in hand. Where the hell were you? Out. Justin's defiance flared. With him. Scott's voice cracked. Yeah. Problem. Scott hurled the phone onto the couch. You're gonna get hurt. Just guys like that, they use you, toss you aside like trash. And you know this how? From mocking them all your life. Scott flinched. I mock 'em 'cause. Fuck. Because it scares me. The room spun. Justin stepped closer. Scares you? Try living it. Scott. Try wanting. He stopped. Scott's eyes were glassy. Fists balled. Wanting what? Who? You wouldn't understand. Justin turned away, but Scott grabbed his wrist, pulling him back. Try me. The air crackled. Justin's voice dropped to a whisper. Wanting someone I shouldn't. Scott's grip tightened, then released. Like who? Like you. The truth clawed up, but Justin swallowed it. Doesn't matter. It did. That night, Scott vanished, bar crawling. Mom said, worry lines deepening. Justin waited up, TV flickering forgotten shows. When Scott stumbled in at 2 a.m., reeking of bourbon, he collapsed beside Justin on the couch. I fought some dude. Said shit about you. Justin's heart sank. Jesus. Scott. Not like that. Scott's head lolled, eyes half-lidded. Told him. You're better than all of them. Silence. Then, slurred but clear, I love you. Just more than brothers. The words landed like lightning. Justin froze, pulse thundering. Scott was out cold, breath ragged. Love. More than. Was it the booze? Or the crack in the facade? Justin carried him to bed, strong arms. Familiar weight, tucking him in like when they were boys. As he lingered in the doorway, Scott mumbled, Don't leave me. I won't. Justin whispered, the lie sweet on his tongue. Days blurred into a humid haze, the kind where cicadas screamed from the oaks and the AC wheezed like an old man in church. Justin threw himself into shifts at the local bookstore, stacking paperbacks on queer-lit shelves when the manager wasn't looking, stealing reads from Audre Lorde and James Baldwin between customers. Tyler texted daily. Flirty memes. Invites to low-key hangs. It was easy. Safe. Tyler's apartment a world away from Elm Street, with vinyl records spinning indie folk and windows overlooking the Cumberland River's lazy bend. But home was a pressure cooker. Scott's confession hung between them like smoke, neither acknowledging it in the light of day. He'd apologize for the drunk ramble with a clapped-back grin. Bourbon makes me sappy. Bro, Justin would nod. Laugh it off. But inside, the words echoed, a siren call he both craved and dreaded. Was it real, or just the booze unearthing what Scott buried deeper than Confederate flags in a liberal drawer? Their routine shifted subtly. Mornings in the garage stretched longer, shoulders brushing over engine blocks. Evenings on the porch swing, beers in hand, talking football until the stars pricked the sky. Scott's mocks dried up, replaced by awkward silences when Dad cracked jokes about those Hollywood fruits. Once, during a cookout with neighbors, when Uncle Ray slurred a slur over ribs, Scott's fork clattered. "Knock it off," he muttered, low but firm. The table hushed, Dad shooting him a look. Justin's knee nudged his under the picnic table. "Thanks. We're warning." Scott's foot hooked his ankle, holding. Tyler noticed the distraction. Over tacos at a food truck park, greasy carnitas and lime wedges squirting under the fringe of fairy lights. Justin spilled fragments. The brother thing, the bar fight, the unspoken ache. Tyler listened, dark eyes steady, then leaned in. "Sounds like he's wrestling demons. But you deserve someone who sees you clear-eyed. No baggage." Justin's laugh was hollow. "Yeah. Demons." That night, back in the truck, Tyler pulled over on a side street lined with shotgun houses, the radio humming soft R&B. Their first kiss was tentative, lips brushing like testing wind, Tyler's hand cupping Justin's jaw with a gentleness that unraveled him. Tasted like salt and possibility, Tyler's stubble rasping soft against his skin. Justin melted into it, hands fisting Tyler's shirt, chasing the spark that promised normalcy. But as Tyler's fingers traced his belt, whispering, "Your place or mine," guilt crashed in. "Not yet," Justin gasped, pulling back. "It's complicated." Tyler nodded. No pressure, just a thumb stroking his cheek. "Whenever you're ready." Handsome. Home was dark. Parents' abed. Justin slipped in, but the kitchen light spilled gold. Scott at the table, nursing coffee, eyes bloodshot. Late night, out with friends. Lie tasted sour. Scott's gaze flicked over him, lingering on swollen lips. "Yeah? Look like you had fun." Defensive walls rose. "Jealous." Scott's cup hit the saucer hard. "Of what?" "Some city boy playing house." He stood, towering, but his voice cracked. "You think I don't see how you look at me?" Justin's world tilted. "What?" "In the garage. On the couch." "Don't bullshit me." "Just." Scott stepped closer, heat rolling off him like summer asphalt. "That night, I meant it. All of it." Air vanished. Justin backed into the counter, heart a jackhammer. "Scott, we can't." "Why not?" Scott's hand braced the cabinet beside Justin's head, caging him without touch. Close. His breath was coffee and mint. "I stormy blue." "Tell me you don't feel it too." Justin's voice broke. He did. God. He did the forbidden pull. Years of stolen glances crystallizing into this magnetic ache. But it was wrong. Twisted. The stuff of small-town scandals and family implosions. "You're my brother." Scott's laugh was bitter. "Blood don't mean shit when it's this." His free hand ghosted Justin's arm. Feather light. Igniting nerves. Justin shivered. Leaning in despite himself. Noses brushing. The front door creaked. Dad's cough rumbling from the hall. They sprang apart. Scott cursing under breath as he retreated to the sink. Dad shuffled in for water, grumbling about the heat. "You boys up plotting world domination?" "Something like that," Scott quipped, voice steady. Dad chuckled, oblivious, shuffling back. In the aftermath, Justin fled to his room, door locked, back sliding down until he sat on the carpet, knees to chest. What the hell was happening? This wasn't some rom-com. It was a grenade with the pin half pulled. He texted Tyler, "Rain check? Family stuff." Then deleted it, thumb hovering over Scott's name instead. No. He powered off, burying under covers. Dreams a tangle of alleys and kisses that blurred faces. Monday brought escape. Justin back to Nashville for classes. The dorm a sterile sanctuary of cinderblock walls and communal showers. He dove into lectures on American lit, dissecting Whitman's Leaves of Grass for hidden longings. But his mind wandered to Scott, the flex of his forearms under hoods, the rare vulnerability in his laugh. Tyler met him for lunch in the quad, under maples shedding gold. "Missed you," Tyler said, stealing a fry. They talked dreams. Justin's vague plans for grad school in New York. Tyler's graphic design gigs aiming for LA. Easy. Light. But when Tyler leaned for a goodbye kiss, Justin hesitated, scanning for judgment. "No one's watching," Tyler murmured, pulling him close. It was good, real, uncomplicated. Yet as Justin drove home Friday, windows down, wind whipping his hair to Luke Bryan on the radio, doubt nod. Tyler was safe harbor. Scott was the storm. The house thrummed with Friday energy. Mom's lasagna bubbling, Dad cracking beers with Scott in the den. Monday night football prelude. Justin joined, sinking into the recliner, the leather warm from Scott's spot. Their eyes met over Dad's head, a current zipping silent. Dinner was normalcy. Mom's chatter about church ladies, Dad's work gripes at the mill. But under the table, Scott's boot nudged Justin's calf. Playful? Teasing? Justin pressed back. A dare. After dishes done, parents retired early. The brothers migrated to the back porch. Crickets chirping a humid symphony. Stars smudged by city haze. Scott cracked open a six-pack, passing one. "How's the boyfriend?" Justin choked on foam. "He's not. Save it." Scott's tone was light, but eyes sharp. Saw the texts. "Tyler, right? Real Prince Charming. Jealousy confirmed." Justin's defenses crumbled. "What do you want me to say, Scott? That I can't stop thinking about you? That every time you touch me, it's like fire?" Scott set his beer down. Deliberate. "Then don't think. Just feel." He closed the distance. Porch swing creaking under their shift. Scott's hand cupped Justin's nape, thumb tracing jawline, a question in touch. Justin answered, surging forward, lips crashing in a kiss born of years' denial. It was messy, desperate, teeth clashing, Scott's stubble scraping raw, hands fisting shirts like lifelines. Scott tasted of hops and hunger, groaning low as Justin's fingers tunneled into his hair. They broke for air, foreheads pressed, breaths mingling. "Fuck," Scott whispered, awe and fear laced. "This is us." "Yeah." Justin's voice trembled. "Us." They didn't go further. Not there. Not yet. Just held on. Swing rocking gentle. The world narrowing to the stolen bubble. Scott pulled a blanket from the storage bin, draping it over them against the chill, his arm heavy across Justin's shoulders. They talked then, whispers in the dark. Scott's first crush on a teammate in high school, buried under tackles and taunts. Justin's lonely nights scrolling Grindr, deleting profiles before swipes. Confessions spilled like rain, washing clean. "I mocked them to drown it out," Scott admitted, voice rough. "The thoughts. About guys. About you." Justin's heart cracked open. "Me too. Hated myself for it." "No hating." "Not anymore." Scott kissed his temple. Soft. "We're in this." Dawn crept pink, birdsong heralding normalcy. They parted with a final press of lips. Promises hummed. Justin drove to Nashville Sunday. Tyler's text lighting his phone. "Movie tonight?" He replied yes. Guilt a shadow. Week spun. Stolen weekends home, where kisses evolved to explorations. Scott's hands mapping Justin's body in the garage loft. Amid dust motes and forgotten boxes. Justin's dorm empty. Scott sneaking in once. Their laughter muffled by pillows. It was ecstasy laced with terror. Every creak a parent's footfall. Every goodbye a countdown to fracture. Tyler sensed the drift. Over pizza in his cramped kitchen, string cheese pulling long, candles flickering romantic, he confronted. "You're somewhere else. Just with him." Justin froze, slice halfway to mouth. "Who?" "Your brother." Tyler's eyes were kind, pained. "I get it. Family pulls hard. But this? It's eating you." Denial died quick. Tears welled. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean." Tyler squeezed his hand. "Hey. Love's messy. Just choose honest." That night, alone, Justin drove aimless, neon blurring past, Carrie Underwood wailing on speakers. He ended at a overlook, city lights sprawling like fallen stars. Text to Scott, "We need to talk." "For real." Reply instant, "On my way." Scott arrived in the truck, gravel crunching. He slid beside Justin on the hood. Thermos of coffee passed silent. "Spill. It's not just us. Tyler, he knows. And it's too much. The hiding, the risk." Scott's face shuddered. "So what? We stop." "I don't know." Justin's voice broke. "Dad would disown us. Mom would pray us straight. This town's a minefield." Scott pulled him close, chin on shoulder. "Then we leave. Get an apartment in Nashville. Fuck this place. Tempting. Reckless. And say what? Hey folks. Your sons are banging each other?" Laughter bubbled. Desperate. "Hell. Might get us on the news." They sat till stars faded. Plans half-formed. Savings pooled. Job hunts whispered. Hope flickered. Fragile. But fragility shattered mid-semester. Dad found the texts. Justin's phone left charging in the den. Screen aglow with Scott's heart emoji under a shirtless selfie. "What the fuck is this?" Dad's roar echoed through the house. Phone thrust at Mom, who paled like milk. Justin raced home. Scott already there, faces ashen. Dad paced, veins bulging. Brothers? Jesus Christ. What kinda sick? It's not. Justin started, but Dad's backhand connected, stars exploding. Scott lunged, tackling Dad to the carpet. Don't you touch him, Mom screamed. Neighbors peeking curtains. Chaos. Sirens wailed distant. Dad's curses biblical. Cops came. Statements taken. Assault charges threatened. Then dropped for family counseling. But the house fractured. Dad sleeping on the couch. Mom's eyes red-rimmed prayers. That night, in the garage sanctuary, Scott bandaged Justin's split lip, hands shaking. We're gone. Tomorrow, Justin nodded, numb. Yeah. Packing was frantic. Duffel stuffed, truck loaded under moonless sky. Mom slipped notes, I love you both. God does too. Dad's silence a wall. On the road to Nashville, dawn breaking copper, Scott's hand found Justin's thigh. New start, but Tyler waited, voicemail heard. Call me. Guilt twisted. First apartment. Shoebox above a laundromat. Rent split from Scott's overtime and Justin's TA gig. Nights tangled in thrift sheets. Days building normal coffee runs. Movie marathons. Love deepened. Raw and real. Scott's whispers in dawn light. Justin's sketches of their faces intertwined. Yet cracks spidered. Scott drank more. Bar fights flaring when old buddies texted slurs. Can't run from it, he'd mutter, punching walls. Justin buried in books. Tyler's friendship a lifeline. Platonic coffees turning confessional. One rainy Tuesday, Scott came home late, eyes wild. Saw Dad at the shop. He said he's sorry. Wants us back. Justin's gut clenched. And I told him no. Told him why. Scott's voice cracked. He hung up, silence heavy. Justin pulled him close. We're enough, but were they? Whispers of doubt grew. Love's weight bowing them. Nashville's pulse quickened their days into a frantic rhythm. Neon veins of Broadway thumping bass lines that vibrated through the floorboards of their one-bedroom, where the radiator clanked like applause and the view was a brick wall etched with graffiti hearts. Justin thrived in the chaos. Adjunct lectures on Southern Gothic lit, where he wove Flannery O'Connor's grotesques into essays on hidden desires, his students' eyes widening at parallels unspoken. Scott, meanwhile, traded wrenches for a line-cook gig at a honky-tonk, flipping burgers amid the sizzle of skillets and the wail of pedal steel guitars, his calluses softening but his temper not. Their love was a living thing, feral and tender. Mornings with coffee black as midnight, Scott's lips tracing collarbones over the sports page. Evenings where Justin read poetry aloud, Scott's head in his lap, fingers combing sun-streaked hair. Walt Whitman would have dug us, Justin murmured once, voice husky. Scott chuckled, nipping his thigh. Long as he don't try to join, but paradise had thorns. Dad's calls started sporadic. Gruff voicemails laced with miss you, son, no mention of the other son. Mom mediated, her Bible verses a bridge. Forgiveness is divine. Boys, Justin ached for her hugs. The scent of her lavender soap. Scott stonewalled, nursing grudges like whiskeys. He hit you, he'd growl, jaw set. Ain't forgetting that. Tyler became the unexpected anchor. Weekly brunches at a cafe with mismatched mugs and mismatched lives, where steam rose like confessions. You look happy, Tyler said one crisp fall day, leaves crunching underfoot as they walked the Parthenon grounds. Athena's shadow long. Scared, but happy, Justin sipped his latte, foam mustache tickling. Yeah. Intense. Like living in a novel I didn't outline. Tyler laughed, clapping his shoulder. Just don't let the plot twist kill the characters. His eyes softened. If it goes south, my couch is yours. Gratitude swelled, but so did unease. Tyler's gaze lingered sometimes, a ghost of what-ifs. Justin shoved it down, loyalty to Scott a vow etched deep. Winter bit hard, snow dusting the Cumberland like powdered sugar on regret. Holiday loomed, a specter. We skipping? Justin asked, bundled on the fire escape, fairy lights twinkling from across the alley. Scott exhaled smoke rings, clove cigarette a vice he'd picked up. Mom's begging. Dad's. Quiet. They went. The drive was 4 hours of country radio and white-knuckled silence. Tires chewing interstate slush. Elm Street looked smaller, azaleas skeletal under frost. Mom enveloped them at the door, hugs fierce, tears silent, while Dad loomed in the hall, hands pocketed, nod curt. Boys. Dinner was a minefield, turkey carved precise, Grace said over folded hands. Conversation skirted edges, work, weather until Dad cleared throat. Heard you're shacked up. Good on ya. Scott's fork paused. Yeah. Just and me. Dad's eyes flicked between. Close as ever. Mom's smile strained. Later, in the kitchen, she pressed Tupperware into Justin's hands. Prayers work miracles, she whispered. Love conquers. Night fell, old beds creaking. Justin lay awake. Ceiling stars from glow paint faded. Scott slipped in after midnight, body heat a bomb. Couldn't sleep alone, he murmured, spooning close. They moved quiet, breaths synced, climax a shared shudder muffled in pillows. After, Scott's arm banded tight. Love you, echo soft. Christmas morn brought gifts. Mom's knitted scarves, Dad's tool set for Scott, a leather journal for Justin. Under the tree, a note from Dad, proud of you both. Always. No apology, but thaw. Relief lasted till New Year's. Back in Nashville, Scott's shifts stretched, grease fires and barked orders fraying nerves. One blizzard night, he stumbled home at 3 a.m., snow-caking boots, breath whiskey sour. Boss is a prick, he slurred, collapsing on the couch. Justin, bleary from thesis drafts, pulled him up. Bed. Now, in the bedroom, Scott's hands turned rough, pins and needles, not the gentle map of before. Missed you, he growled, teeth on neck. Justin yielded, but unease prickled, love or escape. Morning brought hangover regret. Sorry, Scott mumbled over burnt toast. Rough night. It's okay, but it wasn't. Patterns emerged, bar tabs climbing. Scott's laughs louder, eyes distant. Justin confronted over takeout tie, steam curling accusatory. You're drinking to forget. Scott's chopsticks snapped a noodle. Forget what? Us. The world outside. That. Me. Bullshit deflection. I'm fine. Just. Drop it. He didn't. Therapy beckoned. A queer-affirming counselor downtown. Rainbow flag limp in the lobby. Justin went solo first, unpacking closets in words. The bar, the kiss, the betrayal of blood. "It's beautiful," the therapist said, glasses perched. "And brave. But sustainability, that's the work." Scott resisted. "Ain't spilling to some stranger." But Justin's pleas wore him. First session joint. Scott fidgeting like a kid in principal's office. "Talk," the therapist prompted. "Feels like I'm on fire," Scott blurted. "Good fire, bad fire. Like loving him could burn the house down." Progress. Sessions strung. Unpacking Scott's mocks as armor, homophobia a shield for his own mirror. "I hurt people to hurt less," he admitted once. Voice gravel. Justin held his hand under the chair arm. Anchor. Spring bloomed riotous, dogwoods pink against blue. Market stalls hawking strawberries sweet as firsts. They celebrated anniversary, the alley fight. 1 year with rooftop picnic. Wine stolen from work. Skyline glittering. Scott proposed toast. "To us. Fuck the rest." Clink. Kiss. Fireworks burst distant, mirroring hearts. But betrayal brewed subtle. Tyler's birthday party. Warehouse loft pulsing EDM. Bodies sweat slick under strobes. Justin went alone. Scott working late. Beers flowed. Tyler pulling him to dance floor. "Loosen up," Tyler yelled over bass. Hips swaying close. Justin laughed. Binning. The crowd a blur of acceptance. Later, on the fire escape for air city hum below, Tyler's confession spilled. "I never stopped wanting you." Lips brushed ear. Hand on waist. Justin froze, pulling back. "Tyler, I know. But seeing you happy, it kills me." Tears gleamed. "Just. If he breaks you, I'm here." Guilt tsunami. Justin fled early. Cab ride a confessional blur. Home. Scott waited. Takeout cold. "Fun night." "Yeah. Lie heavy." Scott's eyes narrowed. Sensing. "With him. Party. Friends." Deflection weak. Tension simmered days. Snaps over dishes. Silences thick. Culminated Friday. Scott home early. Finding Justin's phone buzzing Tyler's name. "Answer it." "No." Scott snatched it. Reading thread innocent check-ins. But one miss our talks. Doors open. Paranoia's ignited. "He's after you." "He's a friend." Justin yanked back. "Friend my ass." "You glowing after his parties?" "Glowing like when we—" "Stop!" Justin's shout echoed. "You're paranoid." "Like Dad." Scott recoiled. Then surged, face inches. Breath hot. "Better paranoid than blind." "You think I don't see how you light up for him?" "Normal." "Safe." Tears hot. "And what are we? A scandal waiting?" Scott's punch connected with wall. Plaster dusting. "We're everything." Silence shattered by sobs. Justin's first. Then Scott's. Collapsing to knees. "Embrace raw. Don't leave," Scott begged. "I won't." Promise fragile. Rebuild slow. Boundaries with Tyler. Text sparse. Hangs group. Scott cut booze cold. AA meetings in church basements. Coffee bitter as amends. Justin's thesis soared. Advisor praising visceral authenticity. Summer scorched. Heat waves warping air. Road trip beckoned. Great Smokies. Tent pitched under pines whispering secrets. Days hiking trails misty. Nights zipped in sleeping bags. Bodies entwined against chill. One evening, By campfire crackle, Scott pulled a ring twisted silver. Simple. Not legal. Not yet. But mine. Justin's yes was whisper. Kiss ceiling. Stars wheeled witness. Return brought normalcy, job steady. Friends orbiting. But fall winds carried whispers. Dad's health scare. Heart murmur at checkup. Mom's call, come home. Please. They did. Hospital room sterile. Dad frail in gown. For dripping. Eyes met, regret mutual. Sorry, Dad rasped. Hand extended. Scott took it first. Grip firm. Justin second. Tears salting. Forgive, Dad asked. Working on it, Scott said. Truth. Homecoming dinner. Lasagna redux. Laughter tentative. Dad's toast. To family. Whatever shape. Hope. Yet undercurrent pulled. Tyler's wedding invite arrived. To his boyfriend. A architect from Atlanta. Come celebrate, note read. Justin showed Scott. Tension coiling. Go, Scott said. Voice tight. I'll hold fort. Wedding was joy. Vows exchanged under oaks. Tyler radiant in linen suit. Reception danced. Justin twirling with groomsmen. Champagne fizzing. Tyler pulled him aside. Hug fierce. Proud of you. Of us all. Text to Scott. Beautiful night. Miss you. Reply, miss you more. Home safe? Yes. But cab ride home. Euphoria ebbed, longing sharp. Apartment dark. Scott asleep. Justin slipped in. Curling close. Awake. Scott stirred. Good. Perfect. Kiss goodnight. Monday. Storm broke. Scott's phone buzzed insistent. Unknown number. He answered in bathroom. Voice low. Justin eavesdropped fragments. Yeah. Miss it too. No. Can't. Heart sank. Confrontation dawn light. Who? Scott flushed. Caught. Old buddy. From high school. Liar. Justin scrolled call log, repeated. Late nights. This. Scott deflated. Okay. A guy. From AA. We talked. That's it. Talked. Sarcasm bitter. Like you and me talked? Hurt flashed. Not like that. Swear. Doubt festered. Fights escalated. Accusations flying. Doors slamming. Justin crashed at Tyler's once. Couch lumpy. Sleep fitful. Told you, Tyler said soft. Honest. Back. Reconciliation sex. Angry. Reclaiming. But bruises lingered. Climax brewed October. Leaves blood red. Scott's, buddy, texted photo, shirtless selfie. Caption winking. Justin saw. Rage erupting. Who the fuck is he? Scott's denial crumbled under fury. One time, after a meeting. I was weak. Betrayal knife twist. Weak? Or wanted normal? Scott wept. Wanted you. Always. Too late. Justin packed bag. Door slam echo. Wander Nashville streets. Rain sheeting. Shelter in all-night diner. Pie cooling untouched. Call Tyler. Can I stay? Of course. Morning. Scott's truck outside, desperate eyes. Don't do this. I have to. Justin's voice steel. Fix yourself. Door close. Heart shatter. The weeks post-split were a Nashville winter in Justin's bones. Gray skies slinging sleet like accusations. the city's honky-tonk heartbeat mocking his hollow chest. Tyler's place became reluctant refuge, the couch his throne of thorns, nights scrolling job boards for New York escapes while Tyler and his husband, Alex, tiptoed around the grief like it was fragile china. "Stay as long as you need," Tyler said over breakfasts of avocado toast and black coffee, his hand a platonic pat on Justin's shoulder. But pity stung worse than scorn. Justin felt like a ghost haunting his own life, spectral echoes of Scott's laugh in every pedal steel wail from the street below. Classes dragged, thesis advisors' notes blurring through tears. Deepen the emotional arc. Readers need resolution. Irony bitter. Justin poured it in anyway, pages bleeding confessions. Walt Whitman's "I Sing the Body Electric," twisted into elegies for touches lost. Nights, he'd walk the gulch, fairy lights strung like nooses, passing couples hand in clasped, wondering if love was just a con, blood or no. Scott's texts barraged, "Please. Every day. For us." Then photos chip milestones, coffee shop selfies with sponsor, a man grizzled as oak. Justin archived, unread, heart a clenched fist. Mom called weekly, voice quaver, "Your father's asking." And Scott, "He's a mess. Honey," Dad's murmur background, "Tell him we're here." Forgiveness offered, but Justin hoarded hurt like ammo. One February eve, storm raging, wind howling banshee, Tyler's door pounded. Scott, soaked to marrow, eyes wild. "Just 5 minutes." Tyler blocked, firm. "Not now." But Justin appeared, robe belted loose. "Let him." Kitchen table, steam rising from mugs like peace flags. Scott's hands shook, knuckles scarred fresh. "I fucked up. Royally. That guy, AA hookup. Yeah. But it was nothing. Escape from me. From wanting you so bad it hurt." Justin's spoon stirred endless. "Hurt? Try betrayal." Scott. "You mocked my world, then claimed it, then torched it." Scott nodded, tears salting tea. "I know. The mocks, armor. The love, real. The cheat, cowardice." He slid paper across, letter, scrawled, "I love you beyond brothers. Beyond sense. Fix me, and I'll spend life proving." Read, reread. Justin's walls trembled. "Why now? 'Cause losing you? That's hell." Scott's hand hovered, seeking. Justin let it land, palm to palm, electric still. Reunion tentative. Justin back mid-March. Bags light, rules laid. Therapy joint. No booze. Honesty brutal. Scott agreed. Eyes vow. Rebuild was excavation, layers peeled in counselor's office, where Scott unpacked homophobia's roots. Dad's old-school machismo. Locker room hazing that left bruises and buried longings. "I hated gays 'cause I was one," he admitted, voice raw. "Hated myself more for you." Justin shared too. Tyler's kiss ghost. The safe pull versus Scott's gravity. "You're my storm," he said. Scary. Necessary. Home mended parallel. Dad's emails tentative. "Proud of your writing, son." Evolving to calls. Voice gruff but thawing. Mom visited Nashville, bearing pies and prayers. Hugging Scott fierce. "My boys." Whole. Summer hummed renewal, road trip redux. This time California coast. Highway 1 curving cliffs to ocean roar. Tent on Big Sur bluffs. Waves crashing applause. Nights, Under pup tent stars. Scott's ring reclaimed, vows whispered. Yours. Always. Fall brought milestones. Justin's thesis defended. Panel nodding evocative. Scott promoted sous chef. White starched proud. Apartment upgraded. 2-bedroom with balcony overlooking river. Where they hosted first dinner. Tyler and Alex. Laughter flowing like wine. But scars itched. One November night. Bar crawl with old high school crew neutral ground. Amends. Beers mild. Toasts. But a buddy buzzed loose. Clapped Scott's back. Still cracking wise on the queers. Scotty, laughter expectant. Scott froze. Justin's hand tense in his under table. Room spun slow. Then, quiet thunder. Nah, man. Queers, that's me. And him, thumb jerked Justin. Love him. Deal. Table stunned. Forks midair. Jaws slack. Buddy blinked. Wait. What? You heard. Scott's chin lifted. Grip on Justin iron. Mocked it once to hide. No more. Silence imploded, questions tumbling. Awkward hugs. One pal walked. Door thud. Others stayed. Beers raised hesitant. To Scott. Finally out. Outside. Rain slick streets. Justin pulled Scott into alley. Same as year one. But reversed. Kiss fierce. Against wall. Thunder rumbling approval. You did it, Justin gasped. We did. Scott's grin wolfish. One sentence. Whole world. News rippled. Texts from cousins. Mom's proud sob over phone. Dad's call gruff. Heard. Takes guts. Love you both. Winter solstice. Balcony strung lights. They dance slow to Norah Jones. City twinkling below. Scott's whisper ear. Exposed. Free. But freedom's edge cut. Spring unearthed old wound. Tyler's email. Job offer LA. Hint. If you ever. Justin showed Scott. Trust test. Go if you want, Scott said. Voice steady. I'll fight for us here. Choice clear. Justin deleted. Kiss ceiling. Here. Climax crested June. Wedding. Not theirs. But catalyst. Cousins' nuptials back home. Tennessee heat thick as vows. Reception tented lawn. Fairy lights aglow. Dad pulled them aside. Bourbon breath. Seeing you too. Makes me think. Sorry don't cut it. But I'm trying. Hug awkward. Real. Mom danced with them. Trio swaying absurd. Later. Under oaks. Scott knelt proper this time. Ring velvet boxed. Marry me? Legal now. In Cali maybe. But promise eternal. Tears. Yes. Elation short-lived. July heat wave. Scott's sponsor called. Relapse warning. He's skipping meetings. Confront. What's up? Scott's deflection. Stressed. Wedding plans. Dig deeper. Pressure from crew. Whispers fairy behind back. I hear him, he admitted. Voice small. Old armor itches. Don't put it back on, Justin urged. We're stronger. Falter came August bachelor party. Scott solo. Home dawn. Reeking regret. One drink. Swear. Fights reignited, trust eroded. Nights separate beds. Justin's New York fellowship offer arrived. Timing cruel. Go, Scott slurred. Be free. Heartbreak. Not without you. Ultimatum. Rehab or rift. Scott chose doors. 30 days. Nashville facility. White walls and group circles. Justin's vigil. Visits weekly. Holding hands through plexiglass echoes. Letters poured. Miss your laugh. Miss us. Release day. September gold. Scott emerged. Leaner. Eyes clear. Pick up at gates. Embrace crushing. I'm yours. Clean. Recommit. AA routine. Couples therapy deepened. Fall leaves turned. Mirroring change. Thanksgiving home, full table. Dad's carving steady. Toasts to family evolved. Laughter genuine. Scars faint. But humanity's arc bends slow. December. Scott's old hookup. Roy from AA surfaced. Job at same honky-tonk. Brushes accidental. Hey, man. Eyes lingering. Jealousy flickered. Justin voiced. Boundaries. Scott nodded. Report to sponsor. Trust rebuilt brick by brick. New Year's Eve. Balcony countdown. Fireworks blooming. Scott's sentence. Soft. I love you. Really. Only. Kiss under stars. Promise sealed. Yet story's heart pulsed human. Flawed. Enduring. Justin's book deal landed. Memoir veiled. Blood and fire. Launch reading. Scott front row. Applause thunder. Epilogue whispered years on. Rings exchanged quiet in Vermont courthouse. Mom's tears joy. Dad's nod pride. Nashville home. Balcony garden blooming. Love. Exposed. Bloom too naughty. Beautiful. American as apple pie with extra spice. Years folded like well-worn jeans. Soft at edges but sturdy in seams. The kind you inherit and never outgrow. By 2030, Nashville had gentrified around them. The laundromat below their first apartment, now a boutique with artisanal soaps scented like moonshine and magnolias. Broadway's dives polished into Instagram shrines. Justin's memoir had spawned a quiet career. Professor tenure at Vanderbilt. Adjunct gigs in creative writing where he'd mentor wide-eyed undergrads on writing the unsayable. His voice steady as he traced arcs of shame to shine. Scott climbed kitchen ladders to head chef at a farm-to-table spot in East Nashville. His menu a love letter to Southern roots twisted modern. Smoked brisket with queer spiced rub. Cornbread studded with forbidden fruits like figs and whispers of bourbon reduction. Their life was a mosaic, cracks gilded, not hidden. The ring from Big Sur hung on a chain around Justin's neck when lectures demanded discretion. Scott's tattoo. Inked post-rehab on his ribcage. A compass rose pointing home. Coordinates etched for that smoky bluff. Peaked when shirts rode up during lazy Sundays. Mornings started synced. Coffee grinder whirring at 6 a.m. Scott flipping pancakes while Justin journaled at the breakfast bar. Sunlight slanting through balcony doors onto the river view they'd upgraded to. A 2-story brownstone with exposed brick and a rooftop herb garden where basil tangled with basilisk regrets. Anniversaries marked milestones, not just dates. The alley's echo faded to anecdote, retold over IPAs at queer bars like the Lipstick Lounge, where drag queens shimmied to Dolly and patrons nodded knowing at their clasped hands. How'd you know? A twink asked once. I's hungry. Scott's grin crooked. One sentence. Changed everything. Family wove tighter. Threads mended. Dad's heart held. Post-bypass golf outings with Scott turning confessional. I was wrong, son. Scared of losing you two. Whatever. Hugs gruff. But there. Mom's church evolved too, progressive now. Rainbow stoles on pastors. Her potlucks inclusive. She knitted pride blankets. One draped over their couch. stripes of blue for boys, pink for love's blush. Tyler's orbit stayed loyal, LA success in design firm, visits biannual with Alex and their adopted daughter. A firecracker named Riley who called Justin Uncle Story, and Scott, Chef Bear. Barbecues on the roof. Ribs slow-smoked. Tails swapped. U2, Endgame. Tyler toasted once. Glasses clinking. Justin caught Scott's eye across the grill. Gratitude silent. Profound. Challenges lingered. Human as humidity. Scott's sobriety tested yearly. Triggers like Dad's old recliner visits. Or crew reunions where slurs slithered subconscious. One rough patch. Post-graduation party for Justin's mentee. Scott slipped. A single scotch. Just to toast. Confession dawn. Knees on tile. I can't lose you. You won't. Justin's arms steel. Relapse reframed. Not failure. Fuel. A doubled down. Sponsor swaps to fresh ears. Justin's doubts surface subtler. Imposter flares in academia. Whispers of token queer in halls. Or nights when Scott's snores pulled memories of Tyler's easy laugh. Therapy unpacked. You're allowed complexity, counselor affirmed. Date nights intentional. Poetry slams downtown, where Justin read originals. Odes to Scott's hands. Callous sonnets, drawing whistles and wolf howls. Society shifted too. Mirror to their arc. Obergefell echoes in headlines. But backlash bit 2028 election cycle. Tennessee bills curbing groomer myths. Protests clogging Capitol steps. They marched. Signs bold. Love wins. Y'all. Scott's voice amplified. Op-ed in the Tennessean. From mockery to marriage. One man's reckoning. Backlash male venomous. But allies swelled. Old high school pal. The one who'd walked that night. Emailing, read it. Owe you an apology. Beers? Forgiveness. They learned. Was muscle flexed deliberate. Climax revisited not in storm. But quiet thunder. Dad's 60th. Backyard bash under strung lights. Kin clustered. Toasts flowed. Dad's eyes misty on them. Public now. Hands linked casual. To my boys, he raised glass. Taught me more than I taught. Later. Porch swing creak. Dad pulled Scott aside. That sentence you dropped? Bravest thing I seen. Handshake evolved hug. Justin watched from kitchen window. Tears pricking closure's grace. Into 30s. Dreams diverged then converged. Justin's sabbatical. New York fellowship. Scott tagging for summers. Kitchens temp jobbing. City chewed. Subways sardined. Rents vampiric. But nights in Chelsea walks. Hand in hand past Stonewall ghosts. Reaffirmed. Roots in Tennessee. Wings everywhere. Scott's cookbook birthed. Southern soul. Uncloseted. Recipes lace stories. Brisket chapter on betrayal's bite. Pie on piecing sweet. Launch packed. Mom front row beaming. Tyler Skyping cheers. Signing line snaked. Fans whispering. You saved me. Humanity's core. Not perfection. Persistence. Fights flared, over burnt dinners or unmade beds. But make-up sex evolved to make-up talks. Vulnerability the aphrodisiac. One autumn eve. 5 years post that sentence. Balcony dinner. Candlelit pasta. River boats chugging lazy. Scott raised fork like sword. Remember the bar? Justin smiled. Wine ruby. How could I forget? You nearly killed my first almost date. Laughter bubbled. Best mistake. Led here. Silence companionable. Then Scott's voice low. I mocked to mask. One sentence exposed. I loved you. Still do. Deeper. Justin's hand covered. And I you. Beyond blood. Stars pricked. Fireflies kin. Below. Nashville hummed, honky-tonks calling sinners home. Their story. No fairy tale but folk song. Raw. Resonant. Redemptive. In the end, love's not conquest, but communion, flawed souls sinking, mocking shadows banished by truth's light. They rose, dishes clinking, bed calling. Dawn would break gold, another chapter unwritten, but there's eternally linked. Epilogues whisper, decades on, gray at temples, hands veined but laced. Rocking chairs on porch, Elm Street revisited. House there's now. Dad's legacy. Grandkids? Adopted maybe. Or none, content in coupledom. Scott's last words. Sunset gilding. Worth every storm. Justin's reply. Kiss soft. Every one. Fade to fireflies. Eternal.